ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ. So in this chapter 6, Vidyaranya presents Vedantic teaching twice. So first time he presents briefly, and that is from verse number 1 to 17. And second time he presents the same teaching elaborately. So that is from verse number 18 to the end of the chapter. And so for teaching in brief, well, Vidyaranya takes an example of a chitrapata, canvas painting. And for elaborate teaching, well, he takes an example of a akasha. So generally they say clear understanding is revealed if you can present the teaching briefly and elaborately. That's called sankshepa and vistara. Sankshepa means brief. Vistara means an elaboration. So generally in any teaching, first the thing has to be presented in brief and then it has to be elaborated. Even in news also you will find this kind of a system, right? In all news in social media or anywhere, I mean on TV, etc., you will find they give in brief and then they elaborate it. So, well, if somebody asks, to tell Vedanta, in brief, I should be able to tell in brief what is Vedanta, and also be able to give a details also if it is asked. Then if I am able to do that, because we all are now basically seekers, so at least and a certain number of years of study also is there, and so at least if you ask what is Vedanta, we should be able to tell in brief, and then if it is asked, we can give in detail also. Then we should understand it's a marking for us that the teaching is clear, teaching of Vedanta is clear to me. So anyway, if it is presented in this manner, even the student also will be able to understand very clearly. Okay, so first example is Chitrapata Drishtanta, and therefore the chapter is called Chitrapata Deepa, etc., or Chitra Deepa Prakarana. In Mandukya, there is a Alata Drishtanta, and therefore the chapter is called Alata Shanti Prakarana. Same way here also. So depend in the teaching, whatever the example is used, from that also the name of the chapter can be given, name of Prakarana can be given. Okay. Now in Chitrapata, this in canvas painting or painted canvas, whatever. So, there are 4 things till it is a complete. And the first thing is a washed, a canvas. Washed, or let's say it is ready. It is clear. I mean it is clean, spotless. By itself. We can say we can take it that way also. So that's the first thing. And the second is a starched canvas. We call Gattitapata. The first one is a Dhautapata. That's how, I think in yoga also they have that neti and dhoti or something, I think. Dhoti means a washing. So here, Dhautapataha. So it's a washed canvas. Then is a starched canvas. These are olden days. Somebody may say, well, this painting nowadays nobody deep in the starch, etc. That's correct. In olden days they may be doing this way also. Anyway, and third thing is, so the second is a starched canvas. Third is a marked canvas, right? Lanchitapata. And the fourth one is basically painted canvas, that is Ranjitapata. And well, this is a Drishtanta. And same way, from Brahman, the whole creation came out. This universe, which is a big painting, has come out from Brahman. In the same way, there are 4 stages. First is that Shuddha Brahma. And so, pure consciousness, spotless consciousness, okay? And now I would not say that Brahman is washed, because it's not washed Brahman. And so therefore, let's call, that is how he is going to, I will explain you. He is using the word swataha. By itself it is pure. So nothing, sometimes what happens is, example, and the illustration and what is illustrated, we compare so much which we should not do. But we compare so much, then we land into trouble. Ourselves will land into trouble, because there it is, if it is a cloth is washed or the canvas is washed, and here you are comparing the canvas with the Brahman, therefore Brahman also must be washed, and therefore that kind of a thing should not occur into mind. Anyway, Shuddha Chaitanyam first, and then second is a Karana Prapancha Sahita Chaitanyam, Maya Sahita Chaitanyam, etc. We call it Antaryami Chaitanyam, Ishwar Chaitanyam. Third is a Sukshma Prapancha Sahita Chaitanyam, and that is a Hiranyagarbha. And fourth is a Sthula Prapancha Sahita Chaitanyam. We call it Virat Chaitanya. So, we have got, this is how we have seen just an introduction, and that has been told in verse number 1 also. Chitrapate avasthanam chatushtayam drashtam. Chitrapate avasthanam chatushtayam. So 4 stages. Avastha means stages. And chatushtayam, 4-fold stages are there. Chitrapate. Chitrapata Vishay. This is a Vishay Saptami. So with respect to this canvas, which will result into this, painted canvas, well, 4 stages are seen. And in canvas painting, the 4 stages are seen. And there are 4 possible, stages in this Chitrapata. Same way, tatha, in the same manner, Paramatmani avastha chatushtayam vigneyam. In Brahman also, from Brahman, well, the entire universe, and that is a painting, has come out in 4 stages. And then what are the stages he is going to say? He enumerates 4 stages in Drishtanta and Dashtanta in verse number 2. Yatha dhautah gattitascha lanchito ranjitah patah chidantaryami sutratma virachatma tatha iryate. So this is a description of the 4 stages in a illustration and illustrated. So, well, yatha patah, so just as the canvas has the 4 stages, dhautaha first. So dhautaha. Second is a gattitaha. Third is a lanchitaha. I am not uttering the word pataha. So lanchitaha. And the 4th one is ranjitaha. We have already seen that. Tatha, in the same way, chidatma, chit atma, well, it's pure consciousness is the first stage. Antaryami atma is the second stage. Sutratma is the third stage. Either Sutratma, either Hiranyagarbha, same thing. So, the Hiranyagarbha with respect to the entire subtle prapancha, samashti sukshma prapancha, and Sutratma generally you give with reference to samashti prana actually. But anyway, we should not find such difference. Ultimately, it is samashti sukshma prapancha vimani chaitanyam alone is called Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma. And the 4th stage is a Virat. Iti idyate, they are named like this. So, well, this, the consciousness also and is in the 4 stages result into, or Brahman result into this entire universe called painting. Now, he gives a definition of each stage in Drishtanta and Dashtanta, both. Let's see the 3rd verse. स्वतः शुभ्रोऽत्र धौतः स्यात् गट्टितोऽन्न विलेपनात् मत्स्याकारैलाञ्छितः स्यात् रञ्जितो वर्णपूरणात्. So atra drishtanta sthale. Atra means here. Here means in this drishtanta. In the case of Chitrapata example, swataha shubhraha dhautapataha. Shubhraha pataha dhautapataha. Pataha you have to add after shubhraha. Swataha shubhraha dhautapataha syad. Well, which is pure by itself and so spotless canvas. So because Vidyaranya, as I told you, right, Vidyaranya is worried little bit that we will compare the example with what is exemplified. I mean, we compare too much. Then in case of that, we will also think that Brahmana is washed, etc. So swataha means by itself it is pure, like that. Anyway, so swataha means patah is clean by itself. Then same way Brahman is also naturally pure. Then what is the second step? Anna vilepanat gattitaha syat. Anna vilepanat. So even now here in India also, I don't know about United States, but here people do deep, the cloths into this starch, basically starch solution rather, and then they iron it, etc. And so anna vilepanat gattitha. Anna means a starch. Anna vilepanat gattitha syat. Gattitha means stiffened, stiff. So that is the second stage. Gattitaha pataha. First is dauta pataha. Then what is the third stage? Mashyakaraihi. So mashyakaraihi lanchitaha syat. Mashyakaraihi lanchitaha. Mashi. Akara means outline actually. Here. And mashi akara means with the ink. So Mashyakarihi, with the ink there is an outline. I mean, it is marked. Whatever he wants to paint, now first he has to do a marking. He has to do some outlining. So that is called Lanchita Pata. Now that same canvas which was starched before, which is stiffened now, free from any fold, etc. And now on that he does some outline. And the fourth one is what? Varna Puranat Ranjitah Syad. Varna means color or paints. So filled with appropriate details with the paints, etc. So Ranj means to fill with the color actually. And so in 4 stages of Drishtanta is over now. Now he, in the second line, he talks about the 4 stages of Brahman also. So says, so I'm sorry, in the fourth verse he says that. Okay. Swataha chid swataschid antaryami tu mayavi sukshma srushtitah sutratma sthula srushtiyaiva viradityuchyate parah. Swataha chid parah means Paramatma. This Paramatma by itself, swataha means by itself, is called chit, is called consciousness, pure consciousness. And then second is what? Mayavi tu sukshma srushtitah. Mayavi. Second is a Mayavi. Mayavi means it is, same Brahman which is pure consciousness. It is deep in Maya, associated with Maya, associated with Karana Prapancha, etc., which is called Antaryami, which is called Mayavi, which is called Ishvara, which is called a cause of the creation. Ishvara is a cause of creation. So this is nothing but a association with the Maya. With the Maya, of course, he becomes a cause of the creation. So Mayavi, that's the second step. And third is Sukshma Srushtitaha, when subtle creation or Nama Rupa arises. See, we should understand here, subtle creation means, it is not completely known or it is not completely unknown also. We are not completely, when you see outlines in a given cloth or canvas, you know that this is going to be human being. But which kind of a human being you will not know. Whether he is good, that you will know after the colors are filled. Whether he is a cricketer or he is a sannyasi or something. So, it's just an outline is there. So you will not know what a human being he is. And therefore you in general, you know that he is a human being. So you are not completely knowing what kind of a painting it would be. Or you are not completely ignorant also. And that is Sukshma Surshtitaha. So here This Shrushtitaha is a tas pratyaya is there. It is in several senses we use, for several vibhaktis we use it. And it is in the third case here. So, and Sukshma Shrushtitaha Saha, Saharte Tritiya. With this subtle creation, well, with that outline, well, he is called Sutratma. So in the second line you can see Sukshma Srushtitaha Sutratma. Same Chaitanya, same Brahman is called Sutratma. So, and so this is how it is. So Sukshma Prapancha is what? Basically, you partially know, partially don't know. Karana Prapancha is completely unknown. Sukshma Prapancha is partially known, partially unknown. And Sthula Prapancha is completely known. Okay? So this is the way we should understand. So Sukshma Srushtitaha Sutratma Bhavati, this is the third stage. Okay, fourth one, Sthula Srushtya eva Virat iti uchyate. Sthula Srushtya. Once that tangible creation comes, has emerged, after Panchikaranam, etc., well, then that's the Chaitanyam is called Virat. The canvas which is pure, we call it as a now painting. Same way, the Shuddha Chaitanyam, Paramatma, well, is called the universe. Well, after in these four stages. So everywhere we have to, because you will find Tritiya Vibhakti, Sthula Srushtya, Sukshma Srushtitaha, etc., etc. So there everywhere you have to consider Saharthya Tritiya. Along with this, along with the Sthula Srushti, same Paramatma is called Virat, along with the subtle Prapancha, subtle universe, along with that outlines, that same Chaitanyam is called Sutratma, etc., etc. You have to consider that way. So now let's go to, so one thing alone, right? One thing, essentially it is one thing, it is just a canvas. But now we are calling it as a painting with varieties of the names and forms, etc. So that has been told here. Now let's go to verse number 5. Brahmadya stambha paryantaha praninotra jada api uttamadhama bhavena vartante patachitravat. Now he extends example further to explain Vedantic teaching. This is okay, four stages. That's correct. So Shuddha Chaitanyam, and then Mayavi, then Sutratma, then Virat. Here Dauda Pataha, and then Gattida Pataha, Lanchita Pataha, Ranjita Pataha. Is the example. So now he explains further the example. So now, because it's very important to understand now in terms of Vedantic teaching. So when you look at a canvas, just when you look at a canvas, it is Advaitam, non-dual, nor Taratamyam, no up and down, nothing, no duality, etc. But once varieties of the pictures, etc. are drawn, varieties of the forms appear in that canvas, then you forget the canvas and look at these pictures. Then one canvas alone becomes Anekam. Ekam becomes Anekam. Understand, when you see the canvas, it is one. When you see a painting, different forms, you are seeing Anekam, right? You are seeing a human being, and then you are seeing a mountain, and you are seeing a river. Hey, you are seeing canvas. No, I am seeing a river. Okay, over. So it is Dvaitam now. Yeah, you will not, because you are saying, I am seeing Swamiji river. I am seeing a sannyasi standing on the bank of the river. I am seeing a mountain. Yeah, then you are not seeing canvas, so you are not able to appreciate canvas. It is very clear, because you are giving me various names. Actually, it is one canvas. It is nothing but a canvas. But that's the beauty of the thing. So Ekam becomes Anekam. This is how it is. Once the universe comes, anyway, let me not do too much of hurry. So it is again, Ekam becomes Anekam. That's okay. That's okay. Even this step will not be a disaster for a human being. If he is seeing a painting, and instead of one canvas, if he sees varieties of the paints on that, which are names and forms basically, and then there is not a problem. Ekam, Anekam, first step. Then Chetanam, Achetanam also, right? Because you are seeing a sannyasi also and you are seeing a river also. So river is Achetanam and you are seeing a sannyasi which is Chetanam. So Chetanam, Achetanam. No, Swamiji, it is a painting. But you are saying he is a sannyasi. Okay? And therefore, you are seeing a Chetanam, Achetanam. You are seeing roads and you are seeing election posts and you are seeing rivers and mountains and you are seeing a cricket team playing cricket in the ground and whatever drawing, I mean, whatever the painting would be there. And we can see, even if it is an Indian, then we see the buffaloes also on the road, etc. Everything will be there. So basically, even though in canvas there is no plurality, but in picture we have got, or in painting we have got duality, plurality. And this in that first division, so ekam, anekam, and then there is a chetanam, achetanam. That is also all right, no problem. But after that, well, you see up and down, right? And that is where basically you see something superior, something inferior also. And you like a one person is going along with the dog. So that's a painting, suppose. Then the person is a master and that dog is a slave or is a servant, etc. etc. Swaswami sambandhatah. So basically Swa and Swami, everything will be there now. So up and down, etc. Adhama Uttama also. Ekam, Anekam. Chetanam, Achetanam. Adhama, Uttama. Inferior, superior. It is one paint, one canvas, understand? On one canvas you are seeing everything. You are seeing one canvas. A sannyasi is a canvas. A river is a canvas. Even a dog is a canvas, and that master who is leading that dog, well, is also canvas. That who leads whom, that is a different issue. Whether dog leads a master or master leads a dog, I don't know. But that's how it is anyway. So these points we should note. Ekam becomes anekam, chetanam becomes achetanam, and also there is a plurality in terms of uttama dhamma also, taratamya, etc. And then raga dvesha, and then desire, and then. So I don't want to go. First, there are seven generations. There are 7 generations till the person becomes unhappy. Till then there are 7 generations. Basically, what happens is, let me narrate it. I just described in Naishkarmya Siddhi in the last class here. See, what happens is, from the ignorance of this Atma, a duality arises, right? Because ignorance of Atma means what? Well, I am an individual. Well, that's ignorance. And so you see other also as different from you. So that's a duality. So duality arises. And from duality, well, basically raga dvesha will arise. That immediately will arise. Because you will see always some kind of a differences between the people and other things. So from duality, definitely favorable, unfavorable, etc., everything will arise. And therefore then raga dvesha will arise. Because one thing is favorable to you, other thing is not favorable. For favorable there is a like, for unfavorable dislike. So ajnanam, then duality, then favorable, unfavorable, tartamya will see, and then you from ragadvesha will result into kama, definitely. Ragadvesha itself are desire. What I like, I want, and what I dislike, I want to get rid of, etc. So that's a desire. From desire there is a karma, and from karma there is a punya papa. From punya papa there is a deha, and deha means deha adhyasa, naturally. One is born with deha, but there is no adhyasa. Kya baat hai? This is going to be there. By default, you will have identification with the body and deha adhyasa. And deha adhyasa means you have to catch your head, because all problems. If there is no deha adhyasa, there is no problem. There is no problem. That's our experience. A difference between a waking state and deep sleep state is this. In one there is a joy, in one there is a pain, pain. Okay? And therefore, basically, these 7 generations, which ultimately results into dukkham for a human being. So, from dehadhyasa from deha janma, deha from punya papa from karma, karma from kama, kama from ragadvesha, and then ragadvesha from favorable, unfavorable seeing. That is seen because of the duality, duality is because of Atma Jnana. Abba. So, dukkha nivrutti is the goal, becomes a goal. Even though that should not be the goal, right? Dukkha nivrutti. What I want is just freedom from sorrow, freedom from limitation, freedom from uneasiness. Yeah, why do you want it? No, because I am ignorant of myself. This is how it is. So, non-duality. One canvas, single canvas. Well, now your drashti is not on canvas. Your drashti is on painting. And you see varieties of the names and forms. And you are seeing many. In one canvas, you are seeing many. In that now there is a favorable, unfavorable. This sannyasi, I don't like these sannyasis. So, whatever it is. So, then favorable, unfavorable. From that ragadvesha. In painting also we have ragadvesha. Oh, that one is good. He has drawn very beautifully. This is, I don't know, somehow this, etc., etc. In a single painting, some part you like, some part you don't like, etc. This is how it is. One thing leads to this. So, ekam anekam chetanam, achetanam and uttama adhama vibhaga. Anyway, so if we just forget this picture, all the paintings, different names and forms which are painted, well, we see canvas. There is no division, no duality, no taratamyam, and then no negative emotions also, etc. So that's how somebody said, well, let us canvas for the canvas is a Vedanta. Let us canvas for the canvas. It is a Vedanta. Well, that's a wonderful thing. I like that. So let us canvas. There is one canvas. There is a one canvas. There is a one canvas. Do this kind of a canvassing. That's how they say. Very beautiful. Atra, in this Chaitanyam, well, Brahmadhyaha Stamba Paryantaha Praninaha. There are many Chaitanya Jivas beginning from Brahmaji. So there are Uttama Jivas and Stamba Paryantaha, very small plant or creature, etc. Adama Chaitanya, Adama Chaitana, Adam Jivas, etc. Adam individuals. And not only this much. That is theirs. Brahmadi, so from Brahmaji to the blade of grass or a small creature. And Jadaha api Achetana Padartha also. In one and the same Chaitanyam we are seeing Uttama Adhama Bhavena Vartate. Well, Uttama Adhama Bhavena. So some are, well, they are present in a graded form. Superior, inferior, etc. So, well, definitely this is how the one Chaitanyam alone appears in this way. And so example is what? Chitra Patavat, Pata Chitravat. Basically, just as in Canvas Drishtanta, here also in Chaitanyam, the same thing. This is just a small, you understand, this is giving in brief. He is going to elaborate how the samsara is occurring. He is going to elaborate this. This chapter is very, very big, and we'll see that later. So, but here he is telling in brief how samsara occurs to a person. Okay, let's go to verse number 6. Chitrarpita manushyanam vastrabhasah prathak prathak chitradharena vastrena sadrusha iva kalpita. So now he is going to introduce Chit Chidabhasa division. What is Chidabhasa and what is Chit? That division also is there, a part of the universe. And for that he is giving an example of a vastra, a cloth, and vastra abhasa. So basically, vastra abhasa and vastra, well, he will explain, and he is using a special words for that. For vastram, he is saying a adhara vastram. And for, vastra abhasa, he is using a word abhasa vastram. I will explain what is that. So this is, with that example, he is introducing Chidabhasa also. By giving an example of a Vastra Abhasa, he is introducing Chidabhasa also. So, what you should do is you have to imagine a painter seated and he is drawing everything. and he is also drawing a certain human beings, and first he does an outline of the certain human beings and the painting. Other things are there, but let's not right now go about, because Chidabhasa we want to discuss. So let's take only. So he first give an outline of certain human beings. Now, and then he imagines a cloths on the human being. Please understand. He imagines certain cloths. So even though there is a one common canvas which is pervading all over, we let us call it as a Adhar Vastram. Canvas, here pata, instead of pata, he has used another word, Vastram. So, well, definitely this is Adhar Vastram, one canvas. So, and it is a Chitrapata Vastram. Well, definitely it was a canvas for drawing, etc., for painting. And so when, in which human beings are also, then he has outlined, a certain human beings also on that Vastram. And then he visualizes Vastram. Please understand. He visualizes, because he wants to, he wants to paint one thing. In his mind, this human being is a sannyasi. This human being is a child. These human beings are the part of our cricket team. Let's say that way. So, painter visualizes additional Vastram on that one Adhar Vastram. Clear? Definitely. So, he has to visualize, and accordingly he has to paint. Now he is seeing the particular human being as a sannyasi, then he will have to take a orange paint or something, right? And so definitely he is visualizing additional Vastram. Adhar Vastram is everywhere, and other is a visualized Vastram, and he calls it as a Abhas Vastram. So forget about a river, mountain, etc. is also there in painting, but let's take only human beings, because we want to discuss Chidabhasa. So there are certain areas where there is only one Vastram, and where only one Vastram, and other places a Abhas Vastram is also there, and Adhar Vastram also is there. So once you visualize that Abhas Vastram, etc. on a human being, then next aim is to paint that appropriate color in that appropriate person, right? And so if there is a sannyasi, well, he has to take that orange paint. If a child, etc. is there going to the school, then, well, some uniform color will be there. And if if some person is going to Shabrimala, that kind of a thing, suppose, then also he will take that black paint in order to paint his dhoti, etc. Or maybe let's say cricket team, then definitely he will paint white and something else. So now we ask the question, when the painter visualizes a color, first he draws outlines and then carefully fill the colors within that outline. Now, does he add color to Adhar Vastram or Abhas Vastram? That's the question. Does he add color to Adhar Vastram, which is that canvas? Does he add color to Adhar Vastram, or does he add color to Abhas Vastram? That's a question. That's a question, my question to you. Okay? So don't see for answer, look at me for the answer. I am looking at you for
Adhara Vastram. He adds it to the Adhara.
No. If he has to paint the Adhara Vastram, he has to paint the entire canvas. Because he is seeing canvas and he wants to paint canvas, then he has to paint entire canvas. But he is painting in a certain part in the canvas.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So in his mind, there is a Vastram, Abhas Vastram of a sannyasi, and accordingly he takes the color and fill it up. Could you follow? So even though actually it is a Adhar Vastram, but in his mind color is given. Let us say, in his mind, first before he adds the color to the outside in the painting, he adds color in that Abhas Vastram, which he has visualized. How do you know? See, if he wants to color the Adhara Vastram, he should paint entire canvas, but he paints within outlines. He paints within outlines. So in his mind, there is another Vastram, and that is Abhasa Vastram. He is seeing the cloths of a sannyasi, and accordingly he paints that. Then he sees a uniform of the child, and then he paints accordingly, right? So he is not painting to the Adhar Vastram, he is painting to the visualized Vastram, Abhasa Vastram.
Or is painting a color.
So, who is talking? Please stop. So, what is color of this Abhas, of the visualized Abhas Vastram? Well, in case of a sannyasi, it is an orange color, etc. This is how he is going to introduce Chidabhasa. So, so what is the color of a Adhara Vastram? White. What is the color of a Abhasa Vastram? Orange. Or what is the color of a Abhasa Vastram? That uniform, particular color, etc. for the child. So, basically, in that particular place, well, both are overlapping. So, we get a confusion. Adhara Vastram and Abhasa Vastram. Both are getting overlapped. On Adhara Vastram, there is Abhasa Vastram. So, we get a confusion because of the overlapping. So whether paint should belong to Adhar Vastram or Abhasa Vastram, that confusion arises because of the overlap. So even though paint appears in one place, well, I should use a Viveka that Adhar Vastra, Abhasa Vastra Viveka has to be done. We can't separate, outside, only intellectual separation has to be done. So we should tell that there are two Vastrams. Color belongs to Abhasa Vastram, not belong to Adhar Vastram. Adhar Vastram is what? Adhar Vastram is free from color. Adhar Vastram is free from color. Avarnam. Yattad adreshyam, agrahyam, agotram, achakshushtrotram, avarnam, etc. In Mundaka Upanishad it is very beautifully said. Avarnam. Varnam is a color. Adhar Vastram is without any color. That's a white, spotless canvas. And on that there is a visualized Vastram is there, and accordingly fills up the color. So, how do you do this Viveka between Adhar Vastram and Abhasa Vastram? Well, by going behind the painter's mind. If painter wants to give paint to Adhar Vastram, he should paint entire canvas. So, but he definitely does not paint entire canvas. He chose different paints on different outlines. Well, definitely. So, in his mind, there is another Vastram, and accordingly, he paints it. So, that is Abhasa Vastram. So, on the same Adhara Vastram, there is a visualization, there is a superimposition of another Vastram, and accordingly, he fills up different colors in a different outlines of a human being. So that is how one Adhara Vastram now becomes many Abhasa Vastram. Could you follow? So one Adhara Vastram actually, but becomes many Abhasa Vastram because of his visualization of this. So in same way, now come to our Vedanta. So there is a Adhara Chaitanyam all over, all pervading, whereas there is Abhasa Chaitanyam in special places where conditions are there. And what is the condition for Abhasa Chaitanyam? Condition for Abhasa Chaitanyam is presence of a Sukshma Sharira. And so same way here Abhasa, and so because of that condition you will find many Abhasa Chaitanyams. Like in a one canvas, one Adhara Vastram, there are many Abhasa Vastram. Same way in a one canvas called Shuddha Chaitanyam, well, there are many this Abhasa Chaitanyams also. So Abhasa Chaitanyams are many, and just as Adhara Vastram is one, Abhasa Vastrams are many. Same way Adhara Chaitanyam is one, Abhasa Chaitanyam, Chidabhasa are many. This is how we have to understand. And not only this, Bhagavan painted this Abhasa Chaitanyam or visual as Abhasa Chaitanyam, then he gives this colors also, different properties. I mean, we have to include all this. So then, then Brahman Varna is there, and Vaishya Varna is there, Kshatriya is there, and Shudra Varna is there. Chatur Varna means color, very beautifully fits in here. So, different colors are there. So, different Chidabhasa, I mean, and one Chidabhasa is a Brahmana Varna, etc. Question is, is there different Varnas belong to what? Vidyaranya says all different Varnas, colors, attributes belong to Abhasa Chaitanyam. Adhara Chaitanyam is Avarnam, free from any Varna. So that's how it is told. Naham Brahmanaha, Naham Kshatriya, etc. etc. I am not Brahmana, I am not Kshatriya, I am not this, I am not this. All belongs to, all attributes, all paints belong to ultimately Abhasa Chaitanya. But once we understand that, that Abhasa Chaitanyam alone has all attributes, and Adhara Chaitanyam is free from all these attributes, free from the varieties of the attributes, then that samsara, which is caused by seeing attributes, will go away. So attributes belongs to Abhasa Chaitanyam and not belong to Adhara Chaitanyam. So Abhasa Chaitanyam is Satyam or Mithya, because attributes belong to Abhasa Chaitanyam, that's okay, I understood. But Abhasa Chaitanyam is Satyam or Mithya, like Abhasa Vastram is a Mithya, Adhara Vastram is Satyam. Same way Abhasa Chaitanyam also Mithya, Adhara Chaitanyam is Satyam, right? Why Abhasa Chaitanyam is Mithya? Why, I am asking you, why Abhasa Vastram is Mithya? Why Abhasa Vastram is Mithya and Adhara Vastram, that's a canvas, is Satyam? Because
Abhasa Mithya has different colors.
Nothing, but they are just an appearances, right? Same canvas appears little differently. That's how it is. So all attributes, color and even the size, right? Because maybe a uniform, when the shirt may be of a particular color, and then maybe a child, because so short. So the short also is of a one particular color. So even the size, then the color and other things, details are there. Well, all are basically just appearances of canvas. So basically, and not only that, we apply our definition of mithya. Abhasa Vastram is non-separate from Adhara Vastram. Abhasa Vastram is non-separate from Adhara Vastram. Abhasa Vastram has all the attributes, color and everything, size and everything. Adhara Vastram has no attributes. It is one without any color, etc., without any attributes. Could you follow? So this is how we have to take it. Anyway, so here, same way Abhasa Chaitanyam also is Mithya. All attributes belong to. So that's how we say this individual has so and so attributes. That other individual has so and so attributes. All attributes belongs to Abhasa Chaitanyam, Chidabhasa, etc. Whereas Adhara Chaitanyam is one alone. All these Chidabhasas are non-separate from the Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam is Satyam, it is one. Abhasa Chaitanyams are many, Mithya, etc. So, then we should come to our own biography. Am I Abhasa Chaitanyam or Adhara Chaitanyam? Now that question you can answer very well. If I say I am Abhasa Chaitanyam, I am Abhasa then. Okay? That is Abhasa. That is Abhasa. If you say I am Abhasa Chaitanyam, then I am Abhasa. Actually, I am a Adhara Chaitanyam. Now I need not have to explain how I am Adhara Chaitanyam, etc. We are doing every chapter the same thing. Anyway, so and he is going to elaborate. Don't worry about it. This is a sankshepa. It's the first 17 verses. Okay, and he is going to elaborate it till the end of the chapter. Okay, so he is telling this, what I explained to you, he is telling in this verse number 6 now. He says, Chitrarpita Manushyana Vastra Avasaha Pruthak Pruthak. Chitra Arpita Manushyana. So for a different human beings who are basically, arpitam means here located, painted. So for all different human beings who are painted, vastrabhasaha kalpitaha. So vastrabhasa, avasa vastram, etc. kalpitaha. So in addition to that adhar vastram, painter visualizes additional vastram, additional clothes, additional vastram, which is in the form of which is in the form of even inert things also, like in the form of a river, in the form of a mountain, etc. And but only for Manusha, in case if we discuss Chidabhasa, then so this is how many many colors are been filled, many attributes are there. So same way here. So even one Adhar Vastra becomes has a many Abhasa Vastra. So there is a plural number. So Chitra Arpita Manushyanam. Chitra Arpita means the human beings which are there in that painting. That's how it is. Vastra Abhasaha Pruthak Pruthak. They are many and different. And then so many, so maybe a dhoti and maybe some kashaya vastra, maybe skirt and sari and paint and so all this, varieties of the things are there. Pruthak Pruthak. So each one is distinct in length also, each one is distinct in shape also, and color of course also is different. Whereas Adhar Vastram has no particular shape, it has no particular color, it has no particular, length and breadth and etc. So what is the uniqueness of Abhas Vastram? Abhas Vastram is similar to Adhar Vastram. Adhar Chitra Adharena Vastrena Sadrishaha. Eva. So in fact it is so similar. Abhas Vastram is very similar to Adhar Vastram. But definitely. But the distinction is in form of an appearances. We'll see that portion tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.